In the spring of 2017, I did a study abroad in Bradford, UK, a city in Yorkshire. The reason I wished to do a study abroad was because I wished to experience something new and have the opportunity to explore a new country and culture. One thing I am certain of is, I'm very glad I went and had the experience I had. Bradford introduced me to people of so many nationalities, people from all over the world. These strangers soon became my best friends. We connected really well and made our overall experience incredible. One of the earliest school trips I went on was to the small town of Lincoln. Lincoln had beautiful and unique architecture. Here we were able to see a castle, and we also saw one of the largest cathedrals in England. The cathedral was enormous and my architect and civil engineer friends loved it. The first city trip I went on was to the city of Liverpool. Liverpool is a large seaport bustling with activity and business. This is a picture of me standing in front of one of the government buildings. I could tell the differences between this city and a typical American city right away. The buildings here were quite old, most at least a couple hundred years or more. The city had very few skyscrapers and the roads were much harder to navigate. However, the city felt welcoming and I will remember it for its seaport and architecture. During Easter break, my friends and I went to Dublin, Ireland for 3 days. I was really surprised to learn at just how cheap the flight was and later to learn that most European flights are like this. Dublin was a very beautiful city. Like many US cities, it was filled with many people and many building projects could be seen. However, there were also many historic buildings as well. We spent a lot of time in the city center and got to explore Irish culture and even tried some Irish food. We were also able to tour the Guinness factory and try some samples. Dublin was a great city and we had a blast exploring it. Towards the end of the semester, my flatmate and I went to London. We were able to explore and see so much in the city. We had to learn quickly which buses to take and which trains got us to the correct destinations. Luckily we learned fast. Together we were able to explore many tourist attractions such as Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, the British Museum, and many more. One day we explored an old retired warship and we were able to explore a really cool market selling many different items and foods. London has a lot to see. We saw everything from the regular touristic attractions to the not so regular, such as the marketplace and a restaurant known for its cheesy burgers. If I had to choose, my favorite trip would be to Scotland's capital, Edinburgh. This was a 3-day school trip. Edinburgh is an amazing city with beautiful building and nature. My friends and I were able to explore Edinburgh's castle. The castle had everything from a church to a pet cemetery. The most amazing thing about the castle, however, was the view. From the castle, I was able to see the entire city. Edinburgh has a very interesting history filled with plagues, close quarters, and even the inspiration for the creation of Harry Potter. Something everyone noticed right away was the lack of alleyways in the city. Although the buildings were not skyscrapers, they were still rather tall, and due to them being interconnected, some people said they felt a sort of claustrophobia in the city. Personally, I found the city to be warm and welcoming. On our last day we hiked up a mountain. The mountain is located a bit out of the city, so it is harder to see the city from the top. However, the nature was mesmerizing and definitely worth the trip. I learned a lot from my study abroad. I learned not just about English, Irish, and Scottish cultures, but also a bit about the cultures and lives of my friends. For example, in countries like Germany, timeliness and planning are key. This is quite different from my friends from Spain and Greece, who are more used to a relaxed schedule. It was nice to be introduced to so many different people and learn about so many nationalities. I really enjoyed the time I spent on my study abroad and will not forget it. My friends and I learned and grew together, which really amplified what we got from our experience. I really wish to travel a lot more now and would love to return one day to Europe and visit my friends. And lastly, what it means to me to be part of the study abroad generation. To me it means stepping out of my comfort zone and experiencing what the world has to offer. It means learning about new people and making new memories, and lastly it means an opportunity to make yourself bigger and greater than you thought you could be.